Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now I'm about a day late making this video, but better late than never. Right, so season 31 finished. It obviously had its own issues, a war that got cancelled and everything that happened in between. However, again, I keep repeating this, but I genuinely felt that wars have become more enjoyable. So let's see what they have in store for us for season 32. We're back to our regular season schedule, and an after addition of bans last season, we'll be keeping in the change contained tactics and nodes this season while we let the full effect of bans set in. I do think that bans are working well, but they're not quite finished, because realistically, you know, 11 out of 12 wars, you go in with Human Torch, Ghost, and then somebody else banned, right? So there has to be some sort of limit to how many times you as an alliance can ban this specific champion or something of the sort, in order just to make sure that alliance war with bans does not mean alliance war just like it was before, except minus these three champions. There has to be some sort of alteration, change in the champions that you want to ban, and I think that would also expand the tactic aspect of it, where, for instance, if Human Torch is such a problem in defense that everybody wants to ban it all the time, but you can only ban it, let's say, for 4 wars, then you want to save those bans for the hardest wars. And yeah, so I do hope that they take a look at it. I think it's working well. I just think it could definitely be kind of improved, because at the moment, for most of the time, it's pretty much the same champions that always get the boot. Right, we have definitely seen some top science champs hit the ban list pretty regularly, and since bans have only had one season to run, we don't want to tweak them just yet. Our new attack tactic, Defiance, should give you some new options to deal with tough defenders whose best, or at least common, counters frequently attract bans. Well, the problem is that they're releasing attack tactic that, you know, the top tier players will not get to use. So that's also something that doesn't really make sense. So they're introducing attack tactic that kind of specifically is meant to address the matchups where those bans have hit the heaviest, but the people who play the war the most competitive do not get to play with the new attack tactic. Right, best of luck for season 32. Right, let's check out that new attack tactic. It's going to be called Defiance. Defiance attackers gain immunity to buffs. Whenever this immunity trigger, they gain non-stacking 250 energy resistance passive for 10 seconds. And that is a quite useful attack tactic in pretty much any matchup where you have to deal with Mystic Dispersion or Mojos or Dormammus and so on and so forth. So that definitely would be useful, and you can easily see how it would open doors to more champions being able to take matches that specifically, let's say, Human Torch used to be used. And the champion pool is Abomination, Agent Venom, Black Panther, Captain America, Infinity War. Now that's a top tier attacker. Falcon, again, somebody that could potentially have big impact. Hawkeye, Hitmonkey, Immortal Abomination, Immortal Hulk, Joe Fixit, Karna, Killmonger, Massacre, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Mr. Fantastic, She-Hulk, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Stealth Suit, and Yellow Jacket. And yes, that would work, but again, we don't get to play with that, which seems kind of extremely silly here, but okay, whatever. It's, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to someone, but okay. So tactics by map. Now, expert map, power down replaces slow your roll as attack tactic. Now we still get power down. Well, we still had power down before, and defense is unstoppable armor. So unstoppable armor has not been the mandatory defensive tactic in top tiers yet. So what it basically does, that every X amount of seconds the defender will trigger a 3-second armor up buff granting 0 armor rating. However, whenever the defender triggers an armor up buff, 30% chance to trigger an unstoppable passive for 3 seconds. This unstoppable is unaffected by ability accuracy, whilst unstoppable defenders are stun immune. And they include Mole-Man, Sasquatch, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Kingpin, Annihilus, Mangog, Hulk Ragnarok, Red Skull, Warlock, Venom, Colossus, Ultron, Hulkbuster, Super Skrull, Doc Ock, Black Panther, Civil War, Heimdall, Man-Thing. So there are some tough defenders in that. Nimrod too. So it is going to be very scary. It is a very scary defensive tactic, in my opinion, to go up against, because it's 30% chance. It's not going to be consistent all the time. And, well, we'll see how it works out. But on paper, it does look fairly scary. There's going to be definitely some adjustment period to that. And we're still keeping the power down offensive tactic, which is basically you need to alternate your 5-hit combos, and then you can apply wither debuff to the opponent, reducing their power rate by 20% for 15 seconds. Each prowess effect on the attacker or non-damaging debuff, excluding wither on the defender, will apply additional wither. So that is the one that is active right now. That is the one that is active right now, and unfortunately it provides exactly 0 help with the defensive tactic that we are going up against. That's another thing that makes me question, what is the attack tactic for? Initially, I thought that attack tactics are meant to counter defensive tactics. But then Kabam started mix-matching them and giving us attack tactics that have nothing to do with defensive tactics, where we have unstoppable armor, where obviously we have to deal with either armor buffs themselves or unstoppable effects. An attack tactic does not address that. Then in this post, Kabam said that they are introducing new attack tactic in order to help basically with the matchups that have been affected most by the bans. But they're not letting us use that tactic. They're forcing us to use tactic that does something completely different and random. So I'm not entirely following the logic there, and I have yet failed to find anybody who can enlighten me. But, you know, let's hope it somehow comes together well enough. Then we have Challenger map, attack, defiance, power burn, slow your roll, defense, unstoppable armor, untouchables, and high ground. So Challenger map, you can pick one of the 3. Hard map, no change to hard map tactics. And attack tactics, defiance, power burn, slow your roll. So we do have new nodes. So let's open that. Not save image, as 1 second. Open image, a new tab. Here we go. I'm probably gonna need to rein that in, but so we have node 22, champion boost, health boost, power snack, outlast, and backup recovery. So that is the first conjoint fight. It's before the mix master fight, kind of. That's where the bottleneck is. And instead of power snack 2, we get power snack 3. So they're making just flat out harder. They're increasing the amount of power gain they get. Okay, then. So this is node 48. Don't necessarily remember exactly. This is the rage one. Is that the rage mini boss? I think so. That's the rage mini boss. So rage mini boss is being removed. Instead of rage mini boss, we have feat of vigilance, power efficiency. That could be very problematic because they're going to use half the amount of power. Missing in action and return policy. Okay, fair play. Node 55. So this is the brute force spry limber mini boss. That's on the far right side. And we still have the best brute force. Hard knock life. Geez, I hate hard knock life. They did make this one harder too. Hard knock life is such an annoying node. I really dislike that node. And old one was strike counter fury armor. So node 20. So this one is on path 2, or it's the yeah, this one is on, I think it's on path 2, somewhere along the line. And now we have strike counter fury, hit me, I dare you, static defense, masochism. Fair play. Fair play. We'll see how those changes affect. So that does make the map slightly harder for sure. And before we finish, we do have some FAQ about the new defensive tactic. Very important. Will armor break remove the unstoppable if it removes the armor buff? No. Once unstoppable is live, it's its own thing. Slow will interact with the unstoppable as normal. Will stagger prevent it? No. Stagger allows armor up to trigger, then removes it. It's the activation of armor that sets off the unstoppable. Anything that prevents activation entirely entirely, like buff immunity, Black Widow Clairvoyant, or Fate Seal, ability accuracy reduction, or armor shatter will prevent armor up from triggering in the first place, so it will prevent unstoppable. Does the unstoppable trigger off any armor buff or just the one from the tactics? Any armor buff will trigger the unstoppable as long as the defender is the unstoppable armor champ pool, of course. And is the armor up buff susceptible to ability accuracy modification? Yes, only the unstoppable is immune to ability accuracy. So we're going to see what will be the best ways how to counter this, either with slow or with ability accuracy reduction and tons of archangels and whatnot, or perhaps Fate Seal, maybe Black Widow Clairvoyant. We'll see even bigger increase in usage. But all things considered, obviously you always want more change in Alliance Wars, but I do understand this kind of like wait and see another season to see exactly how bans are affecting the war, and they are just tuning few nodes a little bit. As I said, there are still some things that really don't make sense to me at all. Why do we have completely random attack tactic that does not address any of the problems? It does not address the changes that the bans have brought on, and it does not address the defensive tactic, but yet that's the only one that we get to use. So, you know, we'll see how it works out. I hope that the next season finally goes smooth. I think pretty much every single one of last 5 or 6 Alliance War seasons were either cancelled, cut short, or in significant danger of being cancelled. So let's all hope that season 32 goes as smooth as possible. Let me know what you guys think about the changes, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya! Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about